Hello, I'm Mr. Stanley, Superintendent of McLoud Public Schools, and I have Ms. Hockenberry with me also today. She is the Director of our Curriculum and Administration, and we would like to walk you through, talk you through, if you will, some of our decisions on the Return to Learn plan and try to answer some of the questions that we've been getting on Facebook and try to take the fear away as much as we can from coming back to school. So let's start with our first priority, and my priority is always student and staff safety. Every plan that we present to the board will take that upmost. Number one, how do we keep our children and our staff safe? So in our plan that I'll be talking about a little bit today, remember that is the goal, not to make everybody happy, not to go with the 50% that want mask or don't want mask. It is to ensure safety for our faculty and our students. We will be presenting Wednesday night in a special board meeting an amended copy of our Return to Learn plan. And the reason we're going to do another plan or an update is things are changing daily. It's very fluid. I know it's frustrating when we come out with information and post it and then the next day change it. However, it all goes back to CDC guidelines, Pottawatomie County Health Department, State Health Department, and the Department of Education of Oklahoma giving us guidelines and new information. So again, I'm going to apologize, but it's going to be changing, hopefully not daily, but until this situation or pandemic goes away, we're going to have some changes. Now, how did we come up with this plan? Most of you probably saw the survey we put out. So we had a survey put out to parents, and approximately 60% of the people that responded to that say they want to come back to the traditional classroom. The rest are questioned. So later in this presentation, Ms. Hockenberry is going to go over the two types of learning we're going to offer, and then we're going to have an example at the end of what our Google Classroom looks like. As far as mask, we are going to mandate mask, but we're going to take that word and expand it to face covering. Any child, 4th grade and above in McLoud schools will be required to have a face covering when they cannot properly social distance. The younger kids will be in a contained classroom and will be allowed to remove their mask from time to time. Now, this is a face shield, this is a mask, this is a bandana, but we are going to require that per the guidelines that we're receiving, again, from those 3 agencies I discussed earlier. There's a lot of question on discipline for that. We do not want to make this a big deal. It's just, again, safety. So what the plan is, if your child comes to school and takes off the mask, they'll be warned. They'll be warned again, and as long as they don't get crazy and yelling and screaming, we'll send them to the office and sit down and have an explanation of why it's important and possibly even call the parents. So there's not going to be a set, you do this, you're doing that. We hope that you will start visiting with your child right now and possibly wearing a mask during the day for an hour, maybe 2 hours tomorrow, and start getting used to it. And we hope you agree with our plan and will support it. As far as the question on orientations have come up, we normally have a freshman orientation. We normally have some back-to-school nights at the different buildings. And obviously, we have a brand new, fantastic facility that we're getting ready to open. However, if you will follow me for a moment on a teacher's journey on orientation night. I have 6 class periods. I have approximately 25 kids. If all 25 kids show up and parents show up, I could have anywhere from 50 to 75 people in that small classroom 6 different times that evening. So we're going to expose ourselves to unsafe practices. So orientation will be done virtually. At the high school, they're going to produce a video that will go Facebook Live. It'll also be able to be rewound and watched. At the intermediate, Ms. Drew is in the process of getting the teachers together and videoing the same thing. It'll show teachers, it'll show the new building, it'll show walkways. But that's just something we have to do to keep our crowds down. I know a lot of you are wanting to see the new building. So in the next couple of weeks before school starts, we will have a grand opening, a ribbon cutting, if you will, and that will allow us, no teachers there, no students there, but public to walk through with mask and visual or see the building. Sports is another thing that's starting, so we have a plan for that. Obviously, all of our fall sports are outside, so we are recommending, not requiring a mask at these events. We are letting fans in. We are recommending social distancing. We will only be serving food and drink that come in prepackaged packages, I guess is the way I would put that. And our players, as long as they're competing, do not have to wear masks. But if they're in a locker room or they're in a setting talking with their coaches, then they would have to wear a mask. Bus situation hasn't changed. We will run bus routes. Our bus drivers will have a mask on. Also, students are required to wear a face covering. Again, they will follow the same discipline process, age appropriately as those arise. And we hope that all of you will understand and tell your kids how important it is. A couple of the other questions that have come up are, what's our attendance going to look like, and what is the instruction going to look like? And I'll preface that all by saying, when the state shut down last March, it was unprecedented, and the delivery of what instruction we put out was not very good. But that was coming down from the state. Get out some work, keep them busy. It wasn't very good instruction. That is not how it's going to happen, and Ms. Hockenberry is going to expand on that in a moment. So what I'd like to finish with is let you know that we do have a plan. There are changing things every single day, but in this plan and this policy that I think the board will approve and we will get out hopefully next Thursday, it might put some of your questions, maybe put you at ease a little bit. But if you do have a question, please don't hesitate to call myself, somebody in my office, or your building principal. I can't answer every question today, but I wanted to go face to face to let you know what we're thinking and how we came up with it. And at this time, I'd like to turn it over to Ms. Hockenberry, and she's going to discuss a little bit about our curriculum and then a little bit about how we're going to do attendance. So thank you for your time, and stay safe.
Greetings, I'm Mrs. Hockenberry, and I'm going to visit with you a little bit today about your options for returning back to school at McLoud. We did a survey, and we had nearly 400 families participate in that survey. And at the time, we were talking about 3 different options, a traditional option, a blended option, and a virtual option. Upon further exploring the blended version, we just did not feel that it was going to be feasible for our teachers and for our parents to be able to make that happen. So we've narrowed it down to 2. And it's looking like right now, based on pre-enrollment numbers, that 75 to 80% of students are selecting the traditional brick and mortar return back to class model. And we certainly are glad to hear that. And we're going to take every precaution to keep schools open and to keep those students safe. Our second option is then our virtual option. And I just want to make it very clear that last spring, not just McLoud, but every school in the state and across the nation, we were really kind of flying by the seat of our pants. We weren't given a lot of guidance of what that plan should look like. And so we rolled something out very quickly, and we knew from Joy Hoffmeister that couldn't count against a student. That will not be the case this fall. Our virtual option will be delivered 2 different ways. Our younger students, pre-K, kindergarten, and first, will work strictly with packets. We do not feel like children of that age are going to be able to use the technology without parent assistance or guardian assistance. So we won't be checking out devices at that level. Those will be packets. It will be the responsibility of the parent then, or the caregiver, to pick those packets up and to deliver those packets back to the school on a week-to-week basis. Please understand that the packet version, the parent or caregiver will be the primary instructor. They will be giving the instruction to those students using that packet model. So I just want to be very clear and make that aware to you as you are trying to make a very difficult decision. In the fall, or in the spring, we had very little time to prepare. I will tell you that our teachers and our administrators have been working since April to prepare for August. They have put in countless hours of time and research to prepare what I feel like is really going to be a quality product. So we will deliver that via Google Classroom, and that will also look different than it did last spring. Each teacher will have their own classroom, and students and parents will be able to log into those classrooms as needed to see that material. The virtual model, as far as Google Classroom, using the technology piece, is going to be equivalent to what a student would get walking into a classroom at McLoud. So you can expect there to be some time of lecture or by the teacher, a pre-recorded video of the teacher, possibly a YouTube video or a video that comes with one of our textbooks. So there will be some instruction or delivery given in a variety of ways. And each Google Classroom is going to look a little bit different based on that teacher's style and that teacher's personality. So what one first grade student might see might look totally different than what a third grade student might see in one place may look totally different than what a fifth grade student might see. So it's going to vary, just like if you walked into those two classrooms, they would look different there. So with that comes the time element. I think that we're not maybe really clear that if this is going to be equivalent to a school day, students are really going to be expected to be putting in numerous hours a day to stay up with the standards and the learning and the academic expectations. So it will not be simply, oh, I put in 30 minutes today and I'm done. At the secondary level, I would expect you to have to put in that time equivalent of each class period to be able to stay on track. Teachers will be available to answer questions via email during school hours. That may mean your student has a question in the evening time. They can go ahead and email the teacher and ask that question, but please don't expect a response until the following day, because teachers will be working their regular contract hours. So they will be answering those questions at that time. Another big issue that is going to come into play is attendance. And we are being given some certain guidelines from the State Department of what constitutes you being in attendance if you choose the virtual model. And so our plan will be that students will need to complete a minimum of 50% of the assigned academic activities. Now those can be a million different things. Those could be like what you see as bell work. It could be a short series of questions. It could be comprehension questions. In math, it could be practice problems. It could be spending time on one of the programs that we have purchased to assist our students or our teachers, such as Math Seeds, MobyMax. So at the younger grades, some of those things. It could even be things that are related to our online textbooks. So it's going to be a number of activities that teachers could assign, and keep in mind, a student must complete a minimum of 50% of those academic activities in order to be counted present for that day. So we will be working with virtual students on a week-to-week basis as far as attendance goes. So it'll kind of be a week behind each week. So teacher will assign things. They will be due at the end of that week. Teachers will go back and look to see how much work was completed, and then our secretaries will be putting in attendance based on whether or not students met those expectations or those guidelines for attendance. I just personally want to say that I know many of you have a lot of questions, and you're struggling to make what I think is a really difficult decision. So I want to leave you with this. First thing when I got to work this morning, I had an email from Doc Smith, And he sent me a great message with words of encouragement, and he finished his email with, "I can't wait to see the kids." And I think all of us as educators, we want to see kids. That's why we got into doing this. And so I hope that you put your trust in us, not only to keep your kids safe, but to provide them with a quality academic experience, because we're the people that are going to be here for you and support you as parents, and support our kids, and even support them long after they've graduated from McLoud High School.
In closing, I would like to thank all of the people that have helped us come up with this plan, from administration to some of the teachers, of course for the county superintendents that I've worked with, and our school board. Again, safety is our number one concern. A couple of things to remind you of here is we are set to start school, in-person classes or virtual, on the 17th of August. That is all dependent upon the current situation with the COVID outbreak. I want to remind you that I and the teachers strongly believe that face-to-face traditional learning is the best for our students. However, we realize that in these unprecedented times, it is up to the parent or guardian to determine what best educational route their child should take, and we will assist you in that, as Ms. Hockenberry said. When this plan becomes available next week, it will provide detailed explanations of some of the things we went over. We would be glad to assist you in any way we can, but we cannot assist you if you do not contact us. If you have a question, make a phone call, email. We will try to do everything we can to get that answered and to put you at ease a little bit. I realize in this short video we didn't answer every question, but I finally, to end this, want to thank you for your patience and understanding as we all navigate this ever-changing situation. Stay safe, and we'll see you on the 17th.